Okay, so I'm having a little bit of a war with my memory, but I've just won the war because the truth will always prevail. So anyway, I was saying so climbing out of body sensation, which is the party, the nightclub, the food, the restaurant, all of those things, yeah, because we are lacking in energy. That is why we need to keep eating. Cook food vicious cycle is a need to keep eating because you need to keep trying to regain back the energy that's already been lost. Energy. That's why green is energy, as I stated. Energy is green because we have to use works to propel ourselves off the floor. That is what we're doing. We're trying to propel ourselves out of base matter, yeah, into the emotional field. Once we stem then into the emotional body, yeah. So you have your etheric body first of all, which is the one that lies just outside of the physical body, yeah, and then you have the emotional body. This is why we have to access the etheric. The etheric is the fifth element. Etheric equates to fifth, equates to five. That is why it must be accessed. Now here, I'm just going to read. This is one of my teachers. I don't have many because my true self told me a long time ago not to follow the dogma of anybody else. But this here is an ascended master who has been a teacher of mine in the physical. So I'm going to read these and just go straight through them. So if you have to screenshot it because this is like the depths of knowledge here. Right. So Maha Kundalini is for heart. Right. Maha Kundalini is the universal fire of life. The universal fire of life has 7 degrees of power. Right. Okay. Which is the seven here, which we're going to go on that board, right? Okay. Oh Devi Kundalini, you are the fire of the 7 lava centers of the universe. The seven layer centers of the universe are the 7 degrees of power of the fire. 7 churches exist in chaos, where the 7 planetary logos officiate. 7 churches exist in chaos. See. Chaos here, because you see chaos is, you see pain gain 77. It's all happening in the sevens. It's all happening in the 7 spirits of the throne, 7 metals, 7 demons. You got 7 demons and 7 angels in there, the sevens, yeah, either way, right? So these churches also exist within the spinal medulla of the human being. The 7 planetary logos officiated in their 7 temples in the dawn of life. The 7 saints practiced the rituals, the nines, the maha, the nine. You see, this is the rituals of maha. See, this is M and 4. This is for spirit and matter. The rituals of Maha Kundalini within the sacred precinct of their temples in the dawn of the Mahamanvantara. Okay. Also, in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, it's for 49 days. They do something for 49 days. I'm going to explain it on another presentation. Right. The material universe did not exist. The material universe is aligned with matter. Is aligned with the transverse wave effect. Dense. Yeah. Right. The universe solely existed within the mind of the gods. Right. Nonetheless, for the gods, the universe was ideal and objective simultaneously. The universe was, yet it did not exist. The universe is, yet it does not exist within the bosom of the absolute. The universe is, yet it does not exist within the bosom of the absolute. It is an illusion. To be is better than to exist. To be present. Yeah. The 7, to exist is alignment with the transverse wave, which is finite, which is dead. Yeah? Which is why it's better to be present, pulse, plasma, peace, light. P is for light. Yeah? Okay. The 7 saints fecundated the chaotic matter so that the universe could emerge. Devi Kundalini has 7 degrees of power, right? This can go for or against you, right? There exists 7 serpents, 2 groups of 3. See? Because you see, the 3 is always born out of the 7. And this is why here you see here on this board here, right? You have gamma equals gimel. Gimel in the Hebrew is the third, right? Gamma is the third in the Greek as well. But the third, you see, what is the third to them? What the third in the original to us is the 7. So the 3 and the 7 are combined. They go together, right? Okay. And you see gamma, we're going to speak about gamma. It's up here in the head. Because gamma, the wavelength of gamma is the shortest one. It's also the most powerful. But you see gamma as well at 40 hertz, at 4 hertz, your mother will heal your brain. Yeah, it's already facts. These are facts. Right. Okay. So here we are. So Devin Kundalini has 7 degrees of power. Right. There exist 7 serpents, 2 groups of 3, the sublime coronation of the 7th tongue of fire that unites us with the one, with the law, with the Father, which is the 9. The law is the law that exists within nature. One law. Right. Okay. And there's the law of tranquility. These 7 degrees of power, of the fire, differentiated the chaotic matter in 7 states of matter upon which the perceptions of our 7 senses are based. So, yeah. So this is how the control pad works. When you are going to perceive a particular set of senses here, which is going to give you a particular sense of reality here. Yeah, which is always, these are going to be, these 7 are going to reside here, along with the false ego. When you drop down from your seat, you drop down from your 9s, and it tells you that because in your body, you have up high, yeah, after the 9, we drop down to the 7s, and then you have your pharynx, which is 7. It equates to 7, and your larynx, yeah. And before that, you have your ethermoid. But I want to go to, we look at that. Right. So here, right. And then it would go on to say the 7 senses, right? 7 senses are based, right? So the 7 igneous serpents of each of the planetary logos fecundated the chaos matter so that life could emerge. The 7 igneous serpents of each of the planetary logos fecundated the chaotic matter so that life could emerge. So the planetary logos are the luminary bodies. The field interaction between these bodies manifests forms of life. Now it's like, see, so you have your fragrance here, which is your con. Yeah. If we were to put potassium in the mix, you'd have blue blood. So this is how it's different. So when you come out of this realm, when you come out of this particular plane, outside of here, other field interactions create different types of physical or different types of spiritual planes. Yeah. So electricity is the sexual part of Maha Kundalini. Magneto dielectrics. Yeah. Your Kundalini is plasma, but you have to activate it. Yeah. Kundalini is cold within the chakra Muladhara, which is here. It requires that you do work. I am constant. You see, what I do is tether myself. So on my Muladhara in my coccyx. So what I'm doing is I'm applying this to it. I'm applying the phosphorus, the white light to it. Yeah, deliberately, and the external. So it tethers me to the amino acids in the physical. So what I found it's been doing, this has been helping to control the sexual urges drastically. The plasma means you don't need to wash, by the way, because it cleans air, which we're going to look at in a minute. Right. So the Kundalini is the serpent whose tail is coiled 3.5 turns. Yeah. Spirit, matter, and soul. Yeah. Right. When Kundalini awakens, it whistles as the serpent's whistle. Yeah. The prana, the buddhi, the indras, yeah, the Hakinkara, the mind, the 7 elements of nature, the nerves are in their totality products of Kundalini, right? Kundalini is intimately related with the prana that circulates throughout the 72 nadis, and these are canals. So this is what we're doing when we're clearing our lymphs. So when we stop eating body sensation, we can start to clear out the lymphs, because you see the plasma light highway with the osmotic and hydrostatic pressure pushes out some of the waters that goes out through the lymphs and clears out the system. Right, so here you have the 72 nadis, which equates to the 9. Yeah, they have to be cleared out for the magnetodielectric force to run throughout the whole of the vessel. You can feel that fire run throughout the whole of your vessel. Right, the chakras are connected with the mind. Yeah, which we're gonna go through to here, which is what we've been saying. Right, okay. The yogi has to crystallify his mind. Yeah. Once we come out of body sensation, once we come into the emotional field, we start to recognize the higher emotions that reside by the 7 higher virtues instead of vices. That then leads us towards the universal mind, where now we recognize that the difference between the thoughts that reside, because you see the air thought is in air, which is wavy everywhere. So there's 2 sets of thought. You've got the hive-minded thought, which is in body sensation. It's not individual, yeah? It's a hive mind, yeah? And then you have the universal mind. This mind here is coming from absolute, mind of cosmos. It's based in perfection. So here now, once we access the emotional body, we've already generated the energy here. What the high alkaline blues do, what these high energetic charges do, is they encourage that you want to start learning, because this is what the universal mind would require, because it resides within perfection. So now our set of thinking is now based towards more of a perfected state, because we know that when we think about certain negative lustful stuff, what happens is we know that we are leaving the pulse, because we can feel it in the heart here. You can feel it in the heart here. That's how it works. So and then moving forward. So that's then the mind, which is the air. Yeah. So you can see how you're building up here from creating this clear state here. Your gases and your ganses in your vessel are now creating an emotional bliss within you, which is accessing a superior thought pattern here, which is making you want to align with the law of the heart, which is based in love, which means that your thoughts now become more positive. Yeah. And then it continues from there. So then you see your genius mind comes from your universal mind. That's how Beethoven was making music when he couldn't even hear anything, because he's aligning with the universal mind, the soul. Okay, so the Nadi Kanda, right? So here we are. The chakras are connected to the mind. Yoga has to crystallify his mind. Prana is life, and it circulates throughout all of our organs, yeah? I started this video talking about what they call prana, which is the Khan, which is the amino acids in the environment. When you increase your field strength, you walk around pulling the fuel in straight out of the air, regardless to where you are. Right, so prana circulates through all of our nadis and vital canals, yeah? The waters, we have, these are canals, waters. This Stella Maris, Queen of the Sea, our mother, resides here. She will guide our waters up towards the center point of perfection, yeah, which is counter space, which is this portal stargate, yeah, in the center. Right, okay. Now, this sort of stuff in the past, as an occultist, I wouldn't even show this before. I would just keep learning it for myself. But now is the time for it to be released. Right. The Nadi Kanda is situated between the sexual organs and the anus. So here, every day, that's where I'm putting the phosphorus, the taurine, and this cross. Yeah, that's where these crystic waters go on the external. Yeah. And on other videos, I will explain how you work with this Nadi Kanda, how you stimulate it, like muscles, weightlifting. Yeah, the Kanda, because it's still diligence work. Yeah, okay. So the Nadi Kanda is situated in the sexual organs. The Kanda collects all of the sexual energy that circulates throughout the 72,000 canals of our organism. The sexual energy is prana life. Everything is sex. Sex is sex, right? The angel Arak, angel of power, taught us the the prana, the pranava, the candle bandil are for the awakening of Devi Kundalini. These mantras act over the kanda, yeah, reinforcing the vibration of prana. But kanda, as you see, kanda, K is giving you, is K for king. K for king is connected to your hyperboloid. Hyperboloid is the phallic that runs straight through the center of your vessel, which is where these 7 spirits and metals reside, which is your father. Right. So moving forward. So reinforcing the vibration. See, to vibrate your dorsal spine. So Force, the spouse of Shiva, who is your mother, who is the queen of, she is the Stella Maris, the queen of the sea, who is called in the chakra Muladhara, is awakened when the prana is reinforced. The correct chanting pronunciation of this pranava, yeah, PRs, left and right channel, is as follows. Candle, bandil, is 9999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999999. You're not what you think you are. Let me tell you. Candle is pronounced aloud. Dil is pronounced with a low voice. I can feel that in my heart. I almost left this place for a minute there. That's what I do. Right, and I'm showing it to people now. Right, so that's yeah. So what I did there, in actual fact, I went straight from that one to the 40s, and then we're gonna go back to these now, back to the 20s. The Sattva, the Rajas, and the Tamas: harmony, emotion, inertia, inertness. We're in a perfect nirvanic equilibrium before the dawn of the Mahavantara. The fire put the cosmic scale in motion. The Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, the Satjas, Ravas, and Tamas were unbalanced. Therefore, the Mahavantara dawned. The yogi must liberate himself from Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas to gain the right to enter into the absolute. Right? The Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas will be in perfect equilibrium again at the end of the Mahavantara. Thus, the universe will sleep again within the profound bosom of the Absolute, within the Supreme. Yeah, Brahman, in the nominated. The universe will sleep for 7 eternities until Mahakundalini will awaken it again to activity. Right, the earth has a Kundalini as well. See, consciousness sleeps and wakes. The chaos is the raw matter of the great work. We're doing the great work. The chaos is the mul ala principiti, the primordial matter. Yeah, is the Christonic semen from where the universe emerged. All is sex. 6 is sex. It's a sexual interaction between a mother and father that manifests the physical reality. Yeah. We have mula prakriti in our sexual organs, and from it springs up life. We see 7 sacred vessels filled with Christonic semen and the altars of the temples of the 7 planetary logos. That is the sacred symbol. Yeah, those are the primordial waters of life. Yeah, right. The water is the inhabitant of fire. This is what you do. We create a fire in your waters. The hydrogen and the plasmas, they put a fire in you. It's a fire that you put in your waters, and then when that fire goes in your waters, what actually happens is it unlocks higher capabilities in you, so that you now unlock the other 50% that is hidden away from you in the physical. It is about crystallizing your matter in the physical. Yeah, and we are cowardice that makes us see that it's not that. We don't want to do that. 666. It's page 6. Right. Okay. We have 7 sacred vessels filled with Christonic semen and altars of the temples of the 7 planetary logos. That is the sacred symbol, yeah, of Mula Prakriti. Those are the primordial waters of life. The water is the inhabitant of fire. So see here, fire and water must come together. The transverse wave is fire and water in loggerheads. fighting each other, boof, boof, boof. That fire and water must come together. Hydrogen is an action that shows you this, but you must be able to access this plasma clear state, and you can feel it happening to you within the physical. Right, okay, so those who waste the waters also waste the fire and remain in darkness. The seventh rate remain in darkness. The seven saints fecundated the crystalline semen of the universe so that life could sprout. The yogi has to fecundate his primordial waters, his crystalline semen, with the grandiose powers of Devi Kundalini. Yeah, the Kundalini is the spouse of Shiva in the innermost, in the Prusha. The Kundalini is the spirit of electricity. So she is V, which is V for voltage. 2020 in actual fact is 22, which is the number of your mother, and she is voltage. High voltage lets off plasma charge. You can see plasma discharge through high voltage. This is why the movie Frozen was released on the 22nd, and it's a return to the north. The north is where the Kundalini of the earth resides, and that is the main center point where the plasma comes from. Where this fragrance here, yeah, is a fragrance of our mother, and it comes from the North Pole. So if you set up a magnetic field, yeah, aligned towards the North Pole, just like the pyramid, you can protect yourself against anything. So here, this is, so level 2 is the water. Yeah, level 2 is the water. By creating that clear state as we energy compound, we climb up this scale. Now the fire is in the mind, is in the head, and it is the inspirational fires, yeah, that come from the emotional field being intact, by aligning with the organic, your core essence emotions, by aligning with the universal mind, which is your core essence mind. Yeah, all of this is achieved through energy, raising your levels of consciousness through energy, yeah, and through stillness in motion, and through plasma charge, yeah, through energetic, high energy. It's all high energetic charge, yeah. So then, once you see the inspirational fires now, inspiration, because you see we are accessing our pituitary and our pineal. The pineal is imagination, and the pituitary is inspiration. Yeah, the inspiration now comes in. Yeah, because we have now aligned ourselves with perfection here. So now we have inspiration within the mind. We close the eyes and we meditate now. Then we become inspired because now we know we are immortal. Your fire is the connected next one to your plasma, because you see, once you heat the fire, the more the fire heats. We don't understand this realm. When you make a fire in this physical reality, because you're only seeing visible light, if you could see more, you'd realize that when you make a fire, what you do is you attract nature spirits, you attract fields. The more that fire heats up, the more you heat up this fire here, the more energy you generate up here through charging this ephemoid bone here. Here you have an ephemoid bone, which is connected to your hiatus lunaris. You see, so the pineal would be the sun, connected to the imagination. The inspiration, intuition, is connected to the moon. She's the grand mother of the earth. See, grand is 7. See, that's why gamma, the gamma amino gamma, is called, the GABA is called gamma amino. And the GABA does all sorts for the body. It's just phenomenal. It's going to remove depression, anxiety. Also, it's going to help your physical body, to your muscles to work much better. It's going to do all type of things, but mostly it's going to work within your brain. And that is why they called it gamma deliberately, because it acts as a calming mechanism within your brain, and it frees you from all addictions that reside within your false lower ego here. Because within inside your blood is also Prometheus, which is tempting you with addiction to keep you in this transverse wave effect. It's all a part of the game, and this is why. So you can charge directly through your ephemoid. So that's why what I'm doing here is charging directly through the ethmoid bone. Like that. But the plasma, once I'm putting the plasma in, it is raising the bar. So that is why your GABA is G for GABA. And this is why you have the aminos there where we have them. So then moving forward, as we just finished this board now, yeah, you see, so what I have there is so 7.8. So then here you have the plasmas, but you see Dante gave you 7 P's, and the 7 P's for each time that you pass each test, you get a P for light. So you're adding more light. You're adding more light to the soul which resides here and here every single time you climb out of the transverse wave by an alignment with the virtue instead of the vice. Because alignment with the virtue instead of the vice gives equilibrium to your field. So that's how a lot of this is working. This is why nose and nasal and ether, yeah, and etheric, they're all 5, because this is the 5th element here. You have to access the fifth element here. Right. All 7 emotional tones come through the 7. The voice box is your 7. This is 7 here, the voice box. Also, this is your plasma transmuting device, which is your tongue. It turns everything that comes in through it. It uses the syllabic phase. It uses the syllabic phase, yeah, CEPH 7.8 phase to turn it into plasma. That's how it works. And this is why we get philosophy and philosophical, with the energy from the P's, by accessing the P's. And that's why the emotional tone and vibration of these 7 P's comes through this here. So we want to teach and learn and give love to others once we are accessing the higher 7, the virtues that are aligned with the growing of our auric field, which is our true state of being. It's infectious. We want to achieve more for the self and others. That's how it works. So that's how I've drawn these 7 P's here. So the light of the 7 leads to activation of the grand architect. The grand. If I stood here now and told you all the things that GABA can do, you wouldn't. I share it anyway. Just go and look at my wall, and you'll see that GABA is responsible for a ridiculous amount of things. But it's triggered by by mother's 4, because the taurine in the 4 triggers the GABA, because it passes. What it does, it passes the blood-brain barrier. Yeah, the taurine does, and triggers the GABA. But the medications that they take, they're not able to do that. So I'm just going to finish up now anyway. So this is why when we fall, you have, this is what 77 is. You got your 7 in your lower and your 7 in your higher. Pain, you gain up your higher 7 and you lose at your lower 7. You gain at your higher 7, you lose at your lower 7. Yeah, that's how it works. And this is why you fall, when you drop down, you fall into iron into the blood, which is your 5s and your 6s, which is your pent and your hex. Yeah, so you drop from 9 all the way down to your 7s. Right, grand architect, which is plasma. So plasma, which is superior, uses fire to burn away. The plasma uses this fire to burn away these 7 lower demons. And that's why most people, they are a demon. And they do not even stand for the truth. And they lie and say that they do when really they don't know how to. Because when it really comes, people want to just use it for themselves. They want to, and they want to align. But when the shit really hits the fan, this is what I mean about cowardice. And that's what we say. We say, oh, we're going to do this and we do that. But when it really matters, really matters, people want to say, yeah, I was doing the work. I cared about the soul. I cared about learning. I cared about truth. But they only really care when the shit hits the fan. And that shit is coming towards that fan right now. And that is why I teach. What I actually teach on a day-to-day basis. So that was just explaining all of that board there. So these 7 P's here, Yeah, they go for or against. On the one side is the magnetodielectric charge coming from the pulsar plasma, and then the other side is the transverse residing in imperfection, which is aligned with demons. Yeah, that's how that works. Just touching off of that, and I was just saying the gamma heals, calms and removes addictions. That enables us to accelerate towards perfection, which is V. Now, daylight savings, March the 31st, the clock goes forwards. October the 27th, it goes backwards. So the truth is bigger than word. You can see it here. And that then gives you the clock itself is a 360 clock with a center point, and it gives you spirit and matter. The clocks themselves do that on their own. They give you spirit and matter, and in actual fact, on the 31st, a few days after that 27th, after that 9, is another 31st, and that 31st marks the sun dying, which by that action brings a spirit, an emerging of spirit and matter, when spirit and matter come together in that particular moment. Yeah. So just gonna wrap this up now. I'm gonna do a lot more on the explaining how to create the plasma, how it works. This is something called Elmo's fire. So our electric field, once you generate electric field enough, the plasma can be pulled inwards. It pulls in, and you can actually communicate with plasma there and then in the physical. So peace, love, and centeredness.